Hey runner, do you feel like you've lost your running mojo recently? Or maybe you're just not feeling as motivated as you used to? Maybe even you've been on a longer run or a harder one and all of a sudden halfway through, you're struggling and you don't know how to keep going. Hey runner, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Run Fit Fam. My name is Marie Witt. I'm a practicing physical therapist and I'm Dr. Witt on Instagram. Let's answer your running mojo questions in this video. So this wouldn't be a very good or accurate running motivation tips and tricks video if we didn't talk about the possibility of overtraining and burnout, okay? We'll zip through this real fast, but no, those are very real possible reasons for why you're just not feeling it right now. And if you've been going through training cycle after training cycle, if you've had a lot going on in your life right now, then, a combination of all of those things, that could be the reason why you're not feeling it recently. Because let's talk about this real fast. We have the physical load of training, right? So there's an amount of physical stress that happens whether you are doing yoga or you're weightlifting or you're running a tempo run. Okay, so now we kind of have this scale of amount of physical stress. Yoga mostly being on the low end, running a tempo run a little bit higher on the high end, right? So you need to remember that this physical load, this physical stress still plays a part in how much we can handle because we're just humans. On top of that physical load, that physical stress, is another layer of emotional stress. Are you having a really great day, or is your car breaking down? You lost your job, you lost your dog, right? All of these terrible emotional things on the other end. These are just layers of stress on our body, regardless of whether they are physical, emotional, mental, heaven forbid, financial, and you add all of these other factors to it. So I want to start out this video with saying, if you've got a lot going on right now, give yourself some grace, give yourself a little space to just be and just breathe, and then use these tips. Alrighty, so I went and looked into different sports psychology articles and I found this really cool, and it's actually a little bit older than where I like to pull my research from. And these techniques that they found that runners, long distance runners, or ultra marathoners, they use and they still use today. And those would be positive self-talk, chunking, and what I call awareness. I kind of lumped everything into that one category. So let's dive in briefly into each of them. The positive affirmations, this isn't just, I am an amazing runner and I'm going to be super speedy today. I mean, if that works for you, if that's what makes you super motivated and energized, and that's what you need to run your best, then please continue to do that. Okay, I'm not hating on that. But let's spin these positive affirmations and mantras in a different way. So what this research article found was that a lot of runners would use phrases such as like, come on, up the hill, or come on, keep the pace, have a nice long stride, or nearly home, let's go, maybe strong stride, strong hill, good form, something to remind yourself of what you're supposed to be focusing on. And when you do that, when you bring attention to the area, everything, meaning your body, your mind, everything follows suit. So that is a new way to use positive affirmations, and I'm willing to bet you already do that. And because you already do that, you're probably saying, you know what, I'm not really getting anything from this because one, I already do this during my hard workout, and obviously the workout still is hard and it kind of sucks. So what does this do for me? This is where I want to kind of flip it on its head, okay? We tend to think of positive affirmations as having to be rainbows and puppies and sunshine, and it has to be all positive, okay? And by thinking these really positive thoughts, that we will just naturally become positive. Okay, I don't know about you, but when you're in the middle of a tempo run or a long run and you just want to be done, maybe it's raining and you're cold and wet and hungry, if I start thinking about a warm cup of tea in a fireplace and curling up with my cat, that's not exactly motivating me to finish the run. It makes me want to just stop. Okay, so a new way of looking at these positive affirmations can be telling yourself, I can do hard things, okay? Or this is hard, but it's going to be okay because I'm going to get stronger from this. Or a different way to look at it is I'm going to be so strong after I finish this. I'm in the suck right now, but I'm going to be stronger for it. What these do is these kind of remove a toxic positivity vibe to them, and it just acknowledges that right now the moment is hard and it is okay for it to be hard. We don't really want to stay here, but we're here, we're going to survive, we're going to get through it, and we're going to reap a benefit from it. Moving on to number 2, chunking. This is not to be used in a last-ditch attempt of, I started out unprepared, this run is going off the rails real fast, what do? I'll just make it to the next tree, and then I'll make it to the next tree, and then I'll make it to the lamppost. Maybe it's cacti where you live, I don't know. That is a strategy to power through a hard run, but that is not the purpose of chunking. Chunking is kind of what it sounds, or let's say you have a 10-mile run and you're going to cut it clean in half. You have the first 5-mile chunk and the second 5-mile chunk. Okay, so that's one example. A lot of marathoners will chunk the whole 26.2 race into different 5Ks or 10Ks, depending on what feels right for their brain. You can practice this chunking on your different runs, such as you notice a landmark of like, okay, there's this wall that separates 2 sides of the road, I don't know, but like you find this specific tree, you know you're halfway done, you go around the tree, you have finished the first chunk of your workout. Another form of chunking is repeats. You're probably really familiar with this, all right? So this can be a mile repeat, an 800 repeat, whatever the repeat is. And the purpose of this is to give you a quick win. You basically feed your brain, hey, I've made this accomplishment, I have the motivation, I have the drive to continue going forward with the next chunk. And the last one, this is actually my favorite, but it's also one of the hardest, so bear with me. This is the one where I kind of lumped everything under awareness. So one of the most tangible strategies for this can be a breathing and running strategy. Now, mind you that if you look up like 2 to 3 breathing or like 2:3 breathing, you will find a bunch of different reasons why you should do it. That is not this video. That would be an entire different video series by itself. But something you can do if you feel that you're getting overwhelmed by the run, maybe it's feeling too hard, it's feeling too long, something where your brain just starts panicking, like, I can't do this, I don't know if we can finish, I know we've all been there. What you can do is use this breathing and running technique to calm down that system. It doesn't mean you're not a strong runner or that you slow down or anything negative like that. It's just an awareness tool to bring you back to the run in that moment so you don't freak out about what's ahead of you. How to use this breathing and running tool. What you're going to do is you're going to breathe in for 3 strides and breathe out for 2 strides. Breathe in for 3 strides, breathe out with 2 strides. Now, when I have experimented with this myself, I find that a lot of times my pace has to change. Often, I have to actually slow down because I'm finding I'm getting overwhelmed because I've actually slowly turned up the pace when that's not the point of the workout and it's not appropriate for what I'm doing at that moment. So if you find that you have to adjust your pace in order to do this breathing technique, I would say it's worth it in order to kind of get your run and your brain and your body all synced together again. Because once everything is synced together again, it's going to be a lot easier to refine that purpose, latch onto that workout, and complete it successfully rather than trying to beat your head into the wall of, I can't feel this way, I'm not supposed to be doing this way, why is it so hard, I feel like a failure, and all the other unfortunate negative things that sometimes float through our brain while we're running. And that leads to a second part of awareness where I was talking about trying to like hit your head against the wall and resisting how hard it is. Being aware of that. It sounds weird, but bear with me. What you're trying to do is you're not trying to fight how hard it is. This kind of comes full circle into the positive affirmation parts where you tell yourself, I can do hard things. You are acknowledging the present moment. You're acknowledging that right now, this run kind of sucks and you'd rather not be here, but You can do it. What this does is it gives yourself and your brain and your body permission for things to be hard. And when you do that, you create this space of relief in your brain. And all of a sudden, your brain goes, oh, yeah, I can do this. It's actually, I mean, it sucks, but it's not as bad as I made it out to be because I was fighting against it so hard. With all of these different techniques, if you want to learn more, I have a really long blog post with even more techniques than this in it. So please go check that out on my website, drwhitfit.com. And I would love if you subscribe so you can hang out with me on a more regular basis. And until next time, Running Fit fam, dare to train differently.